8 Ways to Recognize Envy and Falsehood in Relationships. Stoic Philosophy, Stoicism. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Lao Tzu. In our relationships, whether with friends, family, or romantic partners, it's essential to cultivate awareness of the dynamics at play. Not all relationships are grounded in honesty and respect. Some may hide envy or falsehood beneath the surface. Modern Stoicism teaches us how to protect our peace and personal growth by recognizing these toxic behaviors before they take root. In today's video from Stoic in Your Life, we'll explore 8 key signs of envy and falsehood in relationships, revealing the Stoic secrets to navigating these challenges. By applying these principles, you can safeguard your emotional well-being and foster stronger, more authentic connections. Have you ever encountered envy or deceit in your relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's learn from each other's experiences and grow together on this Stoic journey. 8 Ways to Recognize Envy and Falsehood in Relationships. Number 1. Downplaying your achievements. You've likely been there before. You've worked hard, achieved something meaningful, something that you're genuinely proud of. Maybe it's a promotion, an award, or simply accomplishing something you've been striving for. You expect to feel celebrated, to receive the praise and acknowledgement that such achievements deserve. But instead, you're met with a response that leaves you feeling deflated, perhaps even questioning your worth. Someone might say something like, "Oh, well, that was expected," or "Anyone could have done that." How does that make you feel? Disappointed? Hurt? It's a strange kind of letdown, isn't it? When others don't recognize your success as you do, it can sting, especially when you've put in so much effort. This reaction isn't just a casual indifference. More often than not, it stems from deeper emotions like envy or resentment. And that's where things get tricky. In Stoic philosophy, one of the key teachings is that we must focus on what's within our control and let go of what is not. We can control our actions, our thoughts, and our reactions, but we cannot control how others feel or how they behave. Envy is one of those external forces, something that can affect us if we allow it, but it is ultimately beyond our control. This makes recognizing envy in relationships all the more important, because it helps us safeguard our peace and avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. But how do you spot envy in others? One of the clearest signs is when someone downplays your accomplishments or brushes them off entirely. Genuine friends, true companions, are those who celebrate your victories as if they were their own, who cheer for you with enthusiasm and joy. But when someone feels threatened by your success, when they harbor insecurities or are consumed by competitiveness, they often respond in the opposite way. They minimize your achievements, dismiss them with a careless comment, or worse, simply ignore them altogether. The more you succeed, the more this type of behavior can intensify. Why? Because your success challenges their sense of self-worth and forces them to confront their own insecurities. This can lead to psychological manipulation, subtle attempts to make you question whether your success is even worthy of recognition. It's painful, especially when it's coming from someone you care about, someone you trust, but it's essential to ask yourself, why is this person acting this way? Is it really about me and my success, or does it reflect something deeper within them? Is their reaction about their own envy, their own fears, their own struggles? Recognizing these signs early can provide you with the clarity needed to navigate these complicated relationships. You might feel hurt, and that's completely understandable. It's natural to feel disappointment when someone you trust doesn't recognize or celebrate your achievements. But as the Stoics would advise, it's important not to let their envy control your emotions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, famously said, "If someone does wrong, it is their character that is at fault, not yours." This is a powerful reminder that how others choose to act reflects their own internal struggles, not your worth or value. Their envy is not something you need to take on or carry with you. You can choose not to internalize their negativity. But how do you protect your peace in moments like these? How do you continue to grow and strive for success while navigating relationships that may be clouded by envy? This is where the modern practice of Stoicism comes in. Modern Stoicism teaches us to stay grounded in our own sense of self and to remain unaffected by the opinions and behaviors of others. We cannot control how others feel or respond, but we can control our reaction. We can choose to protect our inner peace, to not let envy derail our progress, and to continue pursuing our personal growth, regardless of how others may react. In the end, it's not their opinion that defines your success. It's your own belief in your growth and potential that truly matters. So the next time someone downplays your success, remember that their envy is not your burden to bear. Stay focused on what you can control and continue to grow. Number 2, backhanded compliments. Backhanded compliments are one of the most deceptive forms of false support in relationships. These remarks often seem positive on the surface, but they carry subtle jabs intended to undermine your confidence. You might hear things like, "You look good today, much better than usual," or "I didn't expect you to pull that off." These comments may seem harmless at first, but upon reflection, they carry a condescending tone, making you question your abilities. The person making these remarks may not be openly criticizing you, but they are subtly undermining your self-worth. Backhanded compliments are a subtle tactic designed to make you feel uncomfortable, casting doubt on whether you truly deserve praise or success. While the person delivering them may not be malicious, they may be projecting their own insecurities or envy. The intention is to provoke self-doubt, making you question if your achievements are truly valid. Often these comments are followed by a deflection, like, "Oh, I was just joking, you're too sensitive," which shifts the focus to your reaction rather than the negativity of the remark itself. This technique makes you feel guilty for questioning their words, which further chips away at your confidence. Over time, these backhanded compliments erode your belief in yourself, causing you to doubt your abilities. For example, when someone says, "I can't believe you finished that project so quickly. I thought you'd need more time." It may sound innocent, but it's actually a masked expression of envy. The person may feel threatened by your success, and instead of offering genuine praise, they try to diminish your achievement with a backhanded remark. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Recognizing backhanded compliments for what they truly are, attempts to sow doubt, is the first step in mastering how to respond. Instead of trying to change the other person, focus on strengthening your inner resilience. By seeing these remarks as expressions of insecurity or envy, you can dismiss them without letting them affect your self-perception. This is one of the Stoic secrets to navigating difficult relationships. Understanding the intent behind words and not letting them sway your emotions. In today's world, where social interactions are often layered with subtle undertones, backhanded compliments can easily undermine our confidence. In the workplace, a colleague might say, "Wow, I didn't think you could handle such a big project on your own," while secretly wishing they had the same opportunity. In friendships, people may compliment your achievements in a way that makes you question their sincerity. These remarks, though often unnoticed, can have a lasting impact if we don't recognize them for what they are. Once you identify them, you can stay grounded in your self-worth and continue pursuing your goals with confidence. The Stoic secret of self-awareness and emotional discipline is key to dealing with false compliments without letting them affect your emotions. By focusing on what truly matters, your growth, achievements, and the truth of your abilities, you'll be able to maintain your sense of self. Whether in personal or professional relationships, it's important to differentiate between genuine support and disguised envy. With practice, you'll become more adept at recognizing backhanded compliments and responding to them with emotional clarity. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every backhanded compliment is an opportunity to reinforce your belief in your worth and continue on your path with confidence. Learning to stay true to yourself despite negativity is one of the greatest gifts Stoicism offers. Number 3. Copying you without acknowledging it. In relationships, one of the more subtle yet telling signs of envy and dishonesty is when someone begins to mimic your behavior, style, or decisions without acknowledging where they got their inspiration. At first, this imitation may seem harmless and even flattering. After all, it's commonly said that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But when this copying becomes a recurring pattern, it reveals something much deeper, a less virtuous emotion: envy. You've probably encountered someone who suddenly adopts your hobbies, starts dressing like you, or even pursues the same career path you've chosen. At first glance, it might look like admiration, a sign of respect for your choices and success. However, when you take a closer look, the reality is often much different. These individuals feel threatened by your success and use imitation as a way to replicate what you've achieved without putting in the effort themselves. Rather than acknowledging your influence, they deny it, brushing off any observations by claiming it's merely a coincidence. This refusal to recognize their source of inspiration is their way of maintaining the illusion that they are entirely self-made, while still benefiting from the influence and success that you've established. In a more insidious way, they may even try to position themselves in such a manner that makes it appear as though your accomplishments are somehow the result of their own efforts. They might jump on trends that you've started, adopt your ideas, and act as though these things were always part of their interests. It's a clear sign of envy disguised as flattery. In some extreme cases, these individuals may attempt to outdo you, not by carving their own path or pursuing their own goals, but by trying to outshine you while staying hidden in your shadow. Third tier, Stoics wisely taught that what is honorable is to make progress in our own way, not to rely on the success of others. Recognizing this kind of behavior early on is crucial, for it allows you to maintain your own sense of individuality and protect the accomplishments you've worked so hard to achieve. When you see someone constantly copying your moves without giving credit where it's due, you are witnessing the subtle effects of envy in action. This behavior should serve as a reminder to stay grounded in your own journey and remain true to your path. Modern Stoicism encourages us to stay focused on our own growth, to ignore the distractions that come from the envy of others, and to protect our sense of self. When we acknowledge that such imitation is nothing more than a reflection of envy, we are better equipped to safeguard our emotional and mental well-being. By doing so, we can continue forging ahead on our terms, unbothered by the competitive game set by others. In the end, it's essential to remember that your true strength lies in staying authentic to who you are, and not allowing the envy or misguided admiration of others to distort the perception of your own achievements. If you've made it this far, you're someone who truly seeks wisdom and growth. I invite you to share your thoughts by leaving a comment with the slogan, "Stay true, let envy fade." Let's keep this journey of self-discovery and authenticity going together. This is just the beginning, so stay grounded and let's continue to build lives rooted in purpose and truth. Number 4, secretly enjoying your failures. When we experience setbacks or failures, it's often in those moments that the true nature of the people around us reveals itself. Genuine friends, the ones who truly care about us, will step forward with comfort, encouragement, and a desire to help us get back on track. They don't shy away from our vulnerability. Instead, they walk with us through it, reminding us that we're not alone. But then, there are others, those who, instead of offering support, subtly enjoy seeing us struggle. They may not celebrate our misfortune outright, but there's a quiet, almost imperceptible satisfaction in their behavior. It's in the way Their eyes might light up when we share our failure, or how their words, though seemingly benign, carry a subtle sting. Maybe you've heard something like, "I kind of saw that coming," or "You always take big risks, don't you?" These comments don't come from a place of concern or advice. They're meant to shake your confidence, making you second-guess yourself even further. The person who is secretly envious of you feels a sense of hidden relief when you stumble, because it places you on the same level, or worse, makes them feel superior. For them, your failure is a quiet affirmation that their own position is secure. When you lose something, whether it's a job, a relationship, or an opportunity, their joy doesn't come from a place of celebration, but from the fact that your struggle somehow relieves their own fears of inadequacy. I remember a time when I lost my job, and a colleague of mine, someone I had always considered a friend, began to flaunt his recent promotion. His pride was overwhelming, but it wasn't just about him sharing his success. It felt like he was trying to prove that he was doing better and that somehow my loss validated his victory. It wasn't just the words he spoke, it was the way he carried himself, as if to say, "See, I'm ahead now. You're no longer in my way." And in that moment, I couldn't help but feel a sting. I felt that my failure had somehow lifted him up. It was a painful reminder that, for some, your downfall is a moment of validation for their own existence. But here's the crucial insight. We don't have to let these people steal our peace or our strength. Stoic secrets teach us that the opinions and reactions of others are often more about them than about us. Their hidden pleasure in your struggle is a reflection of their own insecurity and emotional fragility, not your failure. When you recognize this, it becomes easier to let go of the weight of their judgment. Instead of feeling deflated by their comments or trying to seek validation from them, focus inward. Use the setback as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to rise above. The reactions of others often say more about their emotional state than about our actual worth or capabilities. So when you're faced with these moments, ask yourself, how do I want to respond to this? Do I want to let someone else's envy or superiority complex dictate how I see myself? Or will I choose to define my worth by my own standards and actions? The key is not letting others' opinions become your reality. As difficult as it may be, the strength lies in being able to rise again, regardless of the noise around you. Remember that the true measure of your success lies not in what others think of you, but in your ability to persevere, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward. Their fleeting pleasure in your downfall is nothing compared to the lasting growth that you can achieve. You have the power to reclaim your sense of self-worth, no matter how others try to make you feel. Keep your focus on your recovery, on what you can do next, and on the resilience that lies within you. Let their small victories in your failure be a reminder that, even in moments of hardship, you are still capable of greatness. Keep rising, and let their envy fade into the background as you grow stronger with every step you take. Number 5. Only supporting you in public. Have you ever noticed someone cheering you on in public, showering you with praise, and offering congratulations? But when the spotlight fades, they disappear without a trace? It's like a mask that slips off the moment no one is looking, revealing the truth. Their support was never about you, but about how it made them look. This is a classic sign of envy and falsehood in relationships. Some people only support you when others are watching. They are quick to bask in the glow of your achievements if it enhances their own image. But when you're struggling behind the scenes, when you need real encouragement, they are nowhere to be found. It's as if your success exists solely to reflect well on them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." So when someone offers you public praise but doesn't show up when you need real help, how do you respond? Do you let their performative support fill you with false security? Or do you recognize it for what it truly is and step back? Modern Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control. And the truth is, you cannot control others' motives or actions, but you can control how you respond to them. Recognizing when someone's support is only given for show is crucial in maintaining your own peace of mind and emotional well-being. If they only celebrate you in front of others, but never care to ask about the challenges you face or how they can support you privately, their support is more about external validation than genuine care for you. This kind of behavior is rooted in ego, and unfortunately it's not rare. Perhaps you've experienced it yourself, a friend or even a partner who's always there when there's something to gain, but never when it requires real sacrifice or effort. This shallow support is a form of falsehood, a deceitful act to maintain an image of being a good friend or a loving partner, all the while neglecting the true essence of what it means to be there for someone. Have you ever found yourself celebrating a victory, only to realize that the person who cheered you on was more interested in how they looked than in your well-being? How did that feel? Did it bring a sense of emptiness, or perhaps even frustration? The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "If someone does wrong, the wrong is theirs, but the harm done to you is yours if you let it harm you." It's up to you to decide if you will allow their superficial support to affect you. By recognizing these dynamics, you protect yourself from the deceit that can cloud your relationships. When you see someone only supporting you in public, ask yourself, is this person truly a source of support, or are they simply trying to gain approval at my expense? Modern Stoicism encourages you to focus on real, meaningful connections, those who stand by you in private as much as they do in public. This is the kind of support that builds trust and authenticity, not the hollow kind that's only present when it serves someone else's interests. Number 6. Trying to make you feel small. In relationships, one of the most insidious and harmful behaviors you might encounter is when someone consistently works to make you feel small, inadequate, or inferior. This type of behavior can be incredibly difficult to spot at first because it is rarely overt. Instead, it's subtle, creeping into your life in the form of jabs, sarcasm, and disguised constructive criticism. These individuals may never outright insult you, but their words and actions constantly erode your confidence, planting doubts in your mind and slowly diminishing your self-esteem. They might make comments about your past mistakes or failures, subtly reminding you of your shortcomings, and in doing so, they trap you in the past. They want you to believe you haven't progressed, that you are still the same person you were years ago. For example, let's say you get a promotion at work, something you've worked hard for. You're feeling proud of your achievement, yet someone in your life makes a comment like, "Wow, I didn't think they'd hire someone with your background." Though it may seem like a harmless remark, it's a tactic to minimize your success. By questioning your background, they're planting a seed of doubt, trying to make you question your worth and capabilities. This kind of behavior is not about offering genuine advice or support. It's about maintaining control. The goal is to make you feel smaller so they can feel bigger. It's a manipulation that aims to undermine your accomplishments and keep you dependent on their validation. This tactic is rooted in envy. These individuals need you to feel inferior because it boosts their own sense of superiority. They may disguise their hurtful comments as helpful advice or constructive criticism, but in reality, they are trying to chip away at your self-esteem. It's a toxic form of control, meant to make you second-guess yourself and feel unworthy of the success you've worked hard to achieve. The more you doubt your worth, the less likely you are to set boundaries or assert yourself, making you more susceptible to their influence. Stoic philosophy offers a powerful antidote to this kind of behavior. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, your worth is not defined by the opinions or manipulations of others. It's important to recognize when someone is trying to make you feel small, and to remind yourself that these comments are not a reflection of your true value. Your sense of self-worth should never be based on the words or actions of someone else. Instead, it should be grounded in your own understanding of who you are and what you bring to the table. The Stoic secret here is to embrace the idea that you are the master of your own self-esteem. No one else can define your worth unless you allow them to. By recognizing the manipulation in others' behavior, you gain the power to disarm them. You can choose to not let their words or actions affect your sense of self. This is not about reacting with anger or resentment. It's about calmly maintaining your dignity and confidence. You have the ability to protect yourself from those who seek to belittle you, and you can set clear boundaries to ensure that you are not subjected to this kind of emotional manipulation. In modern life, you will encounter these situations in many areas, whether it's in the workplace, among friends, or even within your own family. The key is not to internalize these comments or let them affect your sense of self. Instead, focus on cultivating inner resilience. Know that others' opinions, especially those based on envy or insecurity, do not define your worth. When you recognize the subtle manipulation behind these comments, you can maintain your integrity, affirm your accomplishments, and protect yourself from those who would try to hold you down. By embracing Stoic wisdom and applying its principles, you gain the strength to rise above attempts to make you feel small. You can hold on to your truth and continue to move forward with confidence, knowing that you are the only one who can determine your value. This inner strength, this resilience, is the key to navigating toxic relationships and protecting your self-esteem in a world that often seeks to undermine it. So the next time someone tries to make you feel small, remember that your worth is yours to define, and you have the power to rise above their attempts to diminish you. Number 7. Draining your energy. There are times when you find yourself in the presence of certain individuals, and instead of feeling supported and inspired, you walk away feeling emotionally drained, as though a part of your soul has been depleted. These people don't seem to contribute anything positive to the relationship, and with every interaction, you feel as though your energy has been siphoned away. It's almost as if they feed off your emotional reserves, draining you, without ever offering something of value in return. These are the emotional parasites in your life, constantly taking from you yet giving little or nothing back. Each conversation with them seems to leave you more exhausted than before, mentally and emotionally spent. They often talk incessantly about their own problems, leaving you feeling as if your struggles and concerns are unimportant. You find yourself in the role of a listener, a therapist, or worse, an emotional punching bag. You're left with a sense of imbalance where your own needs and feelings are dismissed, and their endless negativity keeps you on edge, eroding your peace of mind. These individuals often seek validation in the most subtle ways, manipulating your emotions to make you feel guilty for needing space or distance. They make you believe that your own emotional needs are secondary, even though you're struggling to maintain your own balance. A perfect example of this occurs when you share a personal achievement or something meaningful that you're proud of. Rather than celebrating with you, they quickly shift the focus to their own issues as if your success doesn't matter, or worse, as if it highlights their own inadequacies. They subtly undermine your achievements, leaving you questioning your worth and wondering why you feel so emotionally unfulfilled after spending time with them. Recognizing these draining relationships is essential to maintaining your emotional health. It's important to become aware of these patterns, so you can set firm boundaries and avoid becoming emotionally entangled with people who do not reciprocate the support you offer. By recognizing these behaviors, you give yourself permission to prioritize your own well-being and protect your energy. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This notion can be applied to relationships. When we free ourselves from the constant need for external validation or emotional manipulation, we regain control over where we invest our energy. By letting go of these draining connections, we create space for relationships that genuinely nurture and support us. Modern Stoicism teaches us that we cannot change the behavior of others, but we do have control over our responses and boundaries. When we understand what is within our control and focus on cultivating resilience, we can protect ourselves from the emotional depletion caused by toxic relationships. It's not about cutting people off recklessly, It's about preserving your peace and maintaining your emotional well-being. By setting clear boundaries, you can foster an environment where your emotional health is respected, and you can engage in relationships that add value to your life. These boundaries help you conserve your energy for the relationships that truly matter, those where mutual support, respect, and understanding flow freely. In this way, you not only protect your emotional peace, but also enrich your life with connections that bring fulfillment and joy. Let me ask you this. Are you ready to take ownership of your life and empower yourself through mastery? Now is the time to act. Like this video and comment below. Master your peace. Own your energy. True strength doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from mastering yourself. It's about recognizing when relationships drain you and taking charge of your emotional well-being. Recognize the signs of emotional parasites in your life and make the decision to protect your peace. Let's share our experiences. How have you set boundaries to safeguard your energy? Your story could inspire others to take control too. Number 8. Keeping score in the relationship. In the realm of relationships, one of the most insidious signs of envy and falsehood is when someone begins to keep score. You've probably encountered individuals who never miss an opportunity to remind you of the things they've done for you. Whether it's something small like offering a ride, or something bigger like helping you move, they'll casually drop phrases like, "Remember when I helped you out?" Or "You owe me one after that favor I did for you." At first, you might not think much of it. It might even seem harmless or generous. But when you take a step back and think about it, you start to realize there's a hidden agenda lurking beneath the surface. Toxic individuals often approach relationships as transactions rather than connections. In their minds, every act of kindness is not just a selfless gesture, but an investment with an expectation of something in return. They track every favor, every sacrifice, every little thing they've done for you, and expect you to reciprocate in the same way, perhaps even in ways that are not always clear to you. If you fail to repay them in exactly the way they want, they might make you feel guilty, obligated, or even manipulate you into doing more for them. Over time, this creates an imbalance where the relationship feels like a ledger of debts rather than a genuine bond of trust and care. I can remember a time when I helped a friend with a personal project, thinking it was just a simple act of kindness. But over the next few weeks, I began to notice that my friend was subtly reminding me of everything they'd done for me. Every time we hung out, they'd drop hints about how much they had helped me, creating a sense of unease. It wasn't a relationship of mutual respect anymore. It was more like a business deal. And no matter how much I did to repay them, it never felt like enough. I constantly felt like I was trying to catch up, like I was being held hostage by an unspoken debt that I could never pay off. Have you ever found yourself in a situation like that, where someone's help felt more like a weight or a burden rather than a gift? This is the subtle danger of the keeping score mentality. It creates a toxic transactional dynamic in relationships where every action is measured and no one can ever truly relax. It leaves you constantly wondering, what do they want from me now? Instead of enjoying a relationship built on trust and mutual respect. If you find yourself in this kind of relationship, the key is to recognize it for what it is and break free. You don't need to repay every favor, nor should you feel like you're forever indebted to someone. True, healthy relationships are based on principles of honesty, kindness, trust, and shared understanding, without any hidden motives or expectations. The Stoic secrets to maintaining harmonious relationships involve seeing through the false generosity that expects something in return and replacing it with a kindness that is unconditional. When you embrace these Stoic principles, you can cultivate relationships that are free from manipulation, focused instead on genuine care and respect. So, I challenge you to reflect on your own relationships. Are the people in your life offering kindness because they care about you? Or are they keeping score, expecting something in return? When you recognize this pattern, you'll gain the strength and clarity to choose relationships that empower you, relationships built on real trust and mutual respect. Don't let toxic scorekeepers take away your peace. Embrace the true value of relationships and let go of any transactional expectations. In summary, the 8 signs above help us recognize envy and falsehood in relationships, enabling us to protect ourselves from their negative effects. However, awareness is just the first step. Taking action and safeguarding ourselves is even more important. In the next section, we will explore how to protect yourself from toxic relationships and find peace in life through Stoic principles. How to protect yourself from toxic relationships. Ever feel drained or stressed by the relationships around you? Don't look away just yet, because the Stoic principles that follow will show you how to protect yourself and find serenity in the midst of challenging relationships. Number 1. Virtue over opinion. At some point in your life, you've likely encountered criticism or attempts to undermine your achievements. Perhaps it's a colleague belittling your efforts or a friend dismissing your success. How do you respond? Do you let their opinions shape your view of yourself? Or do you draw strength from something deeper that doesn't rely on external validation? Stoic philosophy teaches us to find our sense of worth within, rather than seeking approval from others. Modern Stoicism emphasizes that true self-worth comes from our own actions, virtue, and character. This is especially crucial when dealing with envy and falsehood in relationships. When you place your value in the hands of others, you become dependent on their approval or disapproval, letting their jealousy or envy affect your emotions. But here's the truth. You don't have to let it. You can choose not to be swayed by others' opinions, no matter how toxic they may be. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them knows anything about you." This reminds us that what others think of you does not determine your worth. True fulfillment comes from within, from staying true to your values, purpose, and integrity. When someone criticizes or undermines you, consider standing firm in your values. Imagine yourself standing firm in your beliefs, living a life aligned with your purpose. This mindset shifts your response from anger or frustration to calm, knowing that their opinions have no power over your self-esteem. That is the essence of Stoicism. Your worth is determined by your character, your actions, and how you treat others, not by the judgment of others. By prioritizing your values over external opinions, you regain your power. When a colleague belittles your work or a friend criticizes your success, ask yourself, does their criticism reflect who I am and what I stand for? More often than not, you'll find that it doesn't. Their opinion speaks more about them than it does about you. The key here is resilience, the ability to stay strong in your sense of self and purpose no matter what others think. Resilience is a muscle you develop over time, by consistently choosing to prioritize your values above external validation. As you practice this, the negativity of toxic people will have less impact on you. You'll develop an inner strength that allows you to face criticism, envy, and falsehood with grace. When your worth is rooted in your character, the fluctuating opinions of others won't affect you as much. Over time, you'll find a deeper sense of fulfillment as you live in alignment with your true values, not the ever-changing views of others. This is Stoicism in action, and it's a power you can cultivate in your life. So the next time someone tries to diminish your achievements or criticize your actions, remember that their opinion doesn't define you. Your worth lies in your ability to stay true to who you are and what you stand for. Modern Stoicism can guide you in these moments, helping you focus on what truly matters, your virtue, character, and inner peace. Number 2, emotional resilience in relationships. One of the key principles of Stoic philosophy is emotional resilience, which is essential when navigating relationships impacted by envy or deceit. Emotional resilience, according to Stoicism, is the ability to maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances or others' actions. In relationships, this becomes crucial when dealing with toxic behavior or negativity. Stoicism teaches us not to let emotions be swayed by others' actions, but instead to respond rationally, keeping composure and staying grounded in our sense of self. This doesn't mean suppressing feelings, but acknowledging that while we cannot control others, we can control how we react to them. This is a Stoic secret to maintaining peace of mind, allowing us to face envy, criticism, or backhanded compliments without disturbing our inner calm. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by external pressures, whether from colleagues, friends, or family, some of whom may not have our best interests at heart. The Stoic secret is realizing that we are not obligated to react negatively to every provocation. For example, if a friend gives a backhanded compliment like, "You did a great job on that project, especially considering your usual track record," instead of getting defensive, emotional resilience lets us stay composed. We understand that the issue lies with their insecurities or envy, not with us, and we choose not to engage with their negativity, focusing instead on what matters, our values, growth, and peace. This allows us to preserve our emotional stability, despite external disruptions. As Epictetus wisely said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Emotional resilience means maintaining control over our emotional state, no matter the chaos or falsehoods around us. The empowering part of this philosophy is understanding that while we cannot change others, we can control how we let their actions impact us. This gives us strength in toxic relationships, where others may try to drag us into emotional turmoil. If someone spreads false rumors or undermines our efforts, emotional resilience enables us to remain focused, undisturbed by the negativity, and unaffected in our sense of self-worth. In the complex social dynamics of today's world, emotional resilience is more important than ever. Whether it's in the workplace where a colleague might undermine our achievements, or in personal relationships where jealousy or lies may arise, practicing emotional resilience ensures that we don't give away our peace to others. We become less reactive and more in control of our emotional responses. This doesn't mean indifference or detachment. It means responding thoughtfully, rather than impulsively, to situations that could destabilize us. Emotional resilience is a powerful tool for staying centered and focused on what matters most: our growth, integrity, and peace of mind. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. How we interpret and respond to the world shapes our experience. So when faced with toxic behaviors or falsehoods, it's not about others' actions, but how we choose to respond that defines our peace. Practicing emotional resilience strengthens our inner fortitude and empowers us to remain undisturbed by others' negativity, helping us not only survive, but thrive even in challenging relationships. Number 3. Setting healthy boundaries. In the realm of Stoic philosophy, personal integrity and self-respect stand as the cornerstones of a fulfilling life. Stoicism teaches that while we may not be able to control the actions or emotions of others, we hold the power to decide how we respond and what we allow into our lives. This is where the importance of setting healthy boundaries comes into play. Boundaries, as the Stoics understood, are not walls meant to shut others out, but protective measures that safeguard your mental and emotional well-being. These boundaries serve as a line of defense against negativity, manipulation, and anything that may erode your peace or sense of self-worth. When you create these boundaries, you're not shutting the door on relationships, but instead, you are making a conscious decision about what you will and will not tolerate, ensuring that you preserve the energy required for your own personal growth and goals. In our modern world, it is easy to get lost in the demands and expectations of others, particularly in personal and professional relationships. In the workplace, you might encounter a colleague who consistently interrupts you in meetings, disregarding your contributions. Or perhaps a friend who constantly asks for favors without offering anything in return. A Stoic approach would encourage you to recognize these patterns and set clear boundaries, communicating respectfully but firmly that such behavior is not acceptable. This could look like saying, "I'd appreciate it if you would allow me to finish speaking before responding." It's a simple but powerful statement that upholds your right to be heard, respects your time, and asserts your integrity. By setting these boundaries, you ensure that you remain focused on your own journey and avoid the emotional drain that comes from allowing others to take advantage of your good nature. By protecting your emotional space and choosing wisely who you let into it, you preserve your focus, your energy, and ultimately your happiness. Boundaries allow you to surround yourself with individuals who uplift you, support your growth, and contribute positively to your journey, rather than those who seek to tear you down or manipulate your emotions. So, as you navigate through modern life, remember that setting boundaries isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about taking charge of your life and staying true to the principles that matter most. Modern Stoicism teaches us that we can't control others, but we can always control how we allow them to affect us. Be mindful of your interactions and don't be afraid to assert your needs. In doing so, you protect your peace and ensure that your relationships remain a source of strength rather than a drain on your energy. Setting healthy boundaries isn't just a tool for avoiding toxic relationships. It's a way of cultivating a life that reflects your true values and aspirations. If you've made it this far, you're well on your way to wisdom and self-improvement. Leave a comment with the phrase "Set boundaries, protect your peace" to show your commitment to applying the power of Stoicism to protect your peace and personal growth. Stay with us. This journey of discovery and growth has just a few more lessons to go, but it's sure to change your mind. Number 4. The role of wisdom in choosing relationships. One of the most powerful lessons that Stoic philosophy teaches us is the role of wisdom in all areas of life, especially when it comes to the relationships we choose to nurture. Wisdom is more than just knowledge. It's the ability to make discerning choices and see beyond the surface, especially when it comes to the people we allow into our lives. Have you ever found yourself in a relationship that, on the surface, seemed good but eventually left you feeling drained, frustrated, or misunderstood? This is where wisdom comes in. It enables us to truly understand the intentions of others, to see when someone is acting out of envy, competition, or manipulation. As a Stoic, I've come to realize that not every relationship is worth maintaining, particularly when it brings more harm than good to our emotional well-being or growth. And that's okay. In fact, Stoic secrets teach us that it's better to let go of relationships that are not in alignment with our values than to cling to them out of fear of loneliness or obligation. Take a moment and reflect. How often do you settle for relationships simply because they feel familiar or because you've invested time in them, even if they're no longer healthy for you? It's easy to fall into that trap. A wise person, however, takes the time to observe behaviors over time, to let the true nature of someone's character emerge, and to make decisions from a place of clarity rather than haste or emotion. I can share a personal experience. I once had a colleague who seemed supportive at first, always offering a smile and words of encouragement. But over time, I began to notice that their support wasn't entirely genuine. They would downplay my achievements, making backhanded comments or using passive-aggressive remarks that made me question my own value. The more I observed, the clearer it became that this person's actions were driven by envy, not goodwill. At that point, it took wisdom to recognize that this relationship wasn't serving me anymore, and the decision to distance myself wasn't an easy one, but it was necessary. I think this experience highlights a crucial point. Wisdom teaches us to prioritize authenticity in relationships. When relationships are based on falsehoods, manipulation, or the desire to compete rather than collaborate, they become toxic. And it's in recognizing this toxicity that wisdom empowers us to make the difficult but necessary choice to walk away. You may have been in a similar situation where someone pretended to be your friend but their actions spoke louder than their words. In those moments, Stoic secrets offer us a guiding principle. We have the power to choose who we surround ourselves with, and we must choose wisely, because the people we allow into our lives can either help us flourish or drag us down. By practicing wisdom, we ensure that our relationships are built on trust, mutual respect, and genuine connection, which creates the foundation for personal growth and happiness. And perhaps most importantly, wisdom teaches us to trust ourselves and our ability to discern when it's time to let go of relationships that no longer contribute positively to our journey. In the end, the people we keep close are a reflection of our values. And by carefully choosing our circle, we can protect ourselves from toxic influences and cultivate an environment that nurtures our well-being. So the next time you find yourself questioning the nature of a relationship, ask yourself, is this relationship helping me grow, or is it holding me back? Are the people around me supporting my journey, or are they subtly undermining it? The answers you find might be tough, but they'll always lead you to a more authentic and fulfilling path. Number 5. The power of detachment. Have you ever found yourself caught in the emotional whirlwind of a toxic relationship? Maybe someone's words or actions left you feeling unsettled or drained. This is where the Stoic practice of detachment comes in. A powerful tool that can help you protect your peace and navigate the turbulence that comes from envy and falsehood in relationships. You might think that detachment means shutting people out, cutting off ties completely, or pretending that nothing bothers you, but that's not it. Instead, detachment is about maintaining a healthy emotional distance from the drama and chaos created by others. It's about keeping your inner peace intact, no matter what is happening around you. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This is the essence of detachment. It's not about avoiding people or problems. It's about choosing to react in a way that doesn't let external events disturb your emotional balance. Think about the last time someone close to you made a backhanded compliment or behaved in a way that felt hurtful. How did it make you feel? Angry? Frustrated? In the moment, it's easy to let those emotions take over. But the Stoic approach would be to detach from that emotional reaction. Instead of letting their negativity drag you down, you would observe their behavior calmly, with clarity, and decide how you want to respond, not with emotional turmoil but with rationality. Detachment gives you the space to think before you act. You can choose to set boundaries or even walk away from the situation without feeling like you're being dragged into a drama. Modern Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others, but we always have control over how we engage with them. Detaching from someone's toxic behavior is not about being cold or distant. It's about not internalizing their negativity. This protects your emotional energy, so you can focus on what truly matters: your goals, your values, and your inner peace. So let's say a family member makes a condescending remark, something that might usually trigger feelings of hurt or anger. Instead of reacting impulsively, the Stoic response would be to emotionally detach from their words. You don't have to accept their behavior, but you don't have to let it control your emotional state either. By practicing detachment, you protect your energy, maintain your peace, and keep moving forward on your own path. Have you ever felt emotionally drained by someone's actions or words? What would it feel like to simply observe their behavior without letting it affect you? By practicing detachment, you not only protect yourself from unnecessary stress, but you also create space for growth and resilience. Detachment helps you keep a calm, Stoic approach to even the most challenging relationships, reminding you that the only thing you truly have control over is how you respond to what happens to you. In a world where envy and falsehood can distort relationships, this ability to detach can be your greatest ally. Number 6. Focus on what is within your control. In Stoic philosophy, one of the most empowering principles is to focus on what is within your control. This concept can be a game changer, especially when navigating relationships that are clouded by envy or dishonesty. It's easy to get caught up in the emotional whirlwind created by others, especially when their behavior is toxic, manipulative, or deceitful. But the Stoic secrets teach us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can always control how we respond to them. This realization brings a profound sense of freedom because it allows us to take back the reins of our own emotional well-being. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you focus on what you can control, you start by examining your own actions, thoughts, and emotional reactions. You set boundaries that protect your peace, choosing not to engage with negativity. You practice self-care, nurturing your mental and emotional health instead of absorbing the toxic behavior around you. This is especially important when dealing with people who are consumed by envy or falsehood, as their actions can often feel like personal attacks. But remember, you cannot change others. It's crucial to let go of the desire to fix or alter people who are not open to change. The truth is, trying to change others is a futile pursuit. It's not your responsibility, nor is it within your control. The Stoic path teaches us to protect our own peace by withdrawing from the need to gain approval from others, particularly those who might be envious or deceitful. By letting go of these external pressures, you reclaim control over your own state of mind. For example, if someone criticizes your personal choices rather than reacting with frustration or self-doubt, you can choose to focus on your values. You let go of their negative judgment and move forward with confidence, unaffected by their opinions. This is the very essence of Stoic strength, remaining calm and composed despite external disturbances. In doing so, you not only preserve your peace but also prevent toxic individuals from influencing your mental state. What this practice does is build emotional resilience. The more you practice focusing on what you can control, the stronger you become in maintaining your sense of self, regardless of the challenges or toxicity that others may throw your way. Stoicism teaches us that external events, whether it's an envious comment or a deceitful act, should not disturb our inner tranquility. What's truly within your control is how you choose to respond. By mastering this, you can maintain your peace, stay true to your values, and continue to grow stronger, no matter what others do or say. In today's world, where toxic relationships can appear everywhere, this Stoic practice is a tool that can help you thrive, not just survive. In conclusion, recognizing envy and falsehood in relationships requires a Stoic mindset and emotional resilience. By applying modern Stoicism, you can set healthy boundaries, prioritize your virtue over external opinions, and protect your peace from toxic influences. These Stoic secrets empower you to disengage from relationships that drain your energy and instead focus on those that nurture your growth and reflect your true values. Remember, your emotional well-being is within your control, and it's crucial to protect it. So, take proactive steps to ensure your relationships are aligned with your principles and support your journey of personal growth. If you found this video valuable, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos. Stay true to your path and keep growing with Stoic wisdom.